grab a drink, grab a snack, because today is the day we're gonna talk all about books, knitting and crochet again. On the lineup today are 3 books, 1 finished project, 2 works in progress, and I will be frogging it tomorrow kind of thing. Last weekend I was in a bit of a reading kick. So I started and finished the first book in the Magical Academy series by Anna Rue, which is a new trilogy in the same world as the Magical Pharmacy books. It was so good to be back in that world. It's so nice to be in a world that is already very well established for me and just learn more about it. We didn't follow the same characters, but some of the characters from the first trilogy came back in, like we saw them in a different capacity. And it's, I don't know, I just love the magic of the perfumes and what the Sentifleurs can do with that perfume. However, I made a whole 24-hour reading challenge vlog, which is live. So if you haven't seen that yet, please watch that, because I talk way more in depth of this and the next book in that vlog. But I gave 3 stars because although it was good to be back in the world, the timeline felt a bit iffy to me. And then after that, I immediately started the second book in the same trilogy. And I enjoyed this more. However, there was one thing icky about it to me, but now I can't remember what it was. So I also gave this 3 stars, but the first book was a low 3 stars and this was a high 3 stars, if that makes sense. But again, my full thoughts are in the 24-hour reading challenge vlog. Oh, we have 4 books. I did start the 3rd and final book in this trilogy, but I'm only an hour in. So I can't really tell you much about it. But I know the ick for the second book. The second book, half of the book was recapping the first trilogy and the first book in this trilogy before we actually got started. It took so long. So I'm now an hour in. So I can't really tell you anything about the 3rd book, but I assume it will be either 3 or 4 stars. And then I've also started in De Geest van het Beziender's Huis, which is the ghost of the Beziender's house, which is a house in Nijmegen, which is very close to me. This is by a Dutch author. I don't really read a lot of Dutch authors, so I'm very excited about this. And in this we follow a group of kids that are warned not to go in the house. If somebody tells you can't go, they decide to go. Somebody appears, kind of a weird child, which tells them, don't go in the house, you're not allowed. They mock the child, kind of bully her, and then enter the house. Which was not smart because it's a ghost house. And now they're all thrown back into different times of history, all alone. And the house gives them one chance to redeem themselves, and that is in the different timeline. So I'm very intrigued by this book. I am 70 pages in. Which is over half because this book is only 120 pages long. So far I'm really enjoying it. So if you're Dutch, and especially if you live close by Nijmegen, I would recommend it. It's really fun. The author did recommend me to go online and see the stuff that is associated with this book. They made stuff for this book. I haven't done that yet, so I should. I really should. Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. Let's talk about knitting and crochet. Let's start with the finished object, which is the Harry and Henriette bunny jacket. I made a size for 3 till 6, or is it 6 till 9 months? It's either 3 till 6 months or 6 to 9 months. The smallest size on the pattern. And it's so cute. The bunny ears are so cute. I still have to blog it. I finished it yesterday night. So that's the hood with the bunny ears. That's obviously the most important detail of this. And then we have the sleeves. And the jacket turns out in a bit of a skirt, which I love. That's why I chose it. And the bunny ears. And then I sewn the button on. So this is the hard button. I had to do it. The top button is different than the rest because it was too cute. And then just regular pink buttons. And now it's all done. Which is a good thing because the baby has been born. So I have to ship it out soonish. Because I am done with the stuff for the baby now. No, that's not true. I still have to sew. But I have nothing for the big sister yet. Which doesn't have to be done, but I kind of want to. And I do want to start a blanket. I kept telling myself to not start the blanket for the past 2 or 3 weeks. And the moment the baby is born, I think I'm gonna lose that fight. So that's great. We'll see. It's fine, right? Let's go have the family first to meet. Let's not bother them immediately. It will be fine if I see them in a month time, right? And bring them gifts. Because I also still want to make a ballerina dress for the bunny. So that is my only finished object. And then I have I'm only going to talk about my active whips. And there are 2 I make progress in. So first up is the little lace socks by Sokken van Pien. This is how far I got in the second sock. Last time we spoke, I only had this part. And now I've done the heel and I'm just under half of the foot. I really enjoy this pattern. Sometimes I just get stuck on the heels because I don't want to do them. And I have to relook, this is a new heel to me, so I had to look them up again. But I think it looks so nice. I really enjoy this heel and it's so easy to do. I think this is my preferred short row heel, because I don't get as many holes on these. I have a hole on one side, but that's because I personally made a mistake. If I follow the pattern as it used to be, I did not have it. So, but this lace pattern is really easy. So now that I'm stuck on the heel situation because I was too lazy to look it up once more, I now will be finishing this sock soon. It's gonna be today or tomorrow, probably. These socks are made with Vlotte Sokken wool-free bamboo. And this is my first ever pair of bamboo socks. It feels very soft. It feels very cool. So I hope I can wear these socks in summer. That is the plan. That's why they're shorty socks as well. Oh, my shirt is also matching the dress. That's not good. I had a different shirt on, but I spilled a second before filming this, so I had to replace it. But this is my dinner box dress. And I am in the round part, as I told you last time. So I actually made some progress. It's about 10 centimeters in the round. On the skirt, that's it. I was at the ghosty. And now I'm here. So yeah, the top of the ghosty, just to be sure. So I was there and now I'm here. So about 10 centimeters. Not much. But then again, there are a lot of stitches on here. And that is the problem with it. Because we're now in the round. And I'm gonna be working on it when I don't have the brain space to work on anything else. That's the whole purpose of this project. Which means I have about 5 to 10 centimeters to show you every 2 weeks. I don't think that's interesting. Because it's, you don't see it that much since it's not as much, right? So I don't think I will be showing this every 2 weeks anymore, even if I work actively on it, because I don't think the progress is fun enough to show every single time. But when I halfway the skirt or something happens, I will let you know. Now take a good look, because this is the last time you see it. And that's not because I'm not enjoying the pattern. I am actually enjoying this very much. And it looks, or it's not looking good, but if I do it correctly, it looks good. I like it. And that's the thing, I am test knitting this and I was doing something wrong. So to figure out if it was me or the pattern, I have to re-knit certain bits many times. And while unknitting them and doing it again, I made another mistake. And now the line in the center doesn't align anymore. And that does not look good. And that does not look like the pattern, but it also, it's just not good. So it is giving me a bit of struggles first knitting through all the stuff I already knitted, that it doesn't look as good when you do that. It will block out, but now it doesn't look as good. And now I made another mistake. So I have decided to get this off my needles completely, because I do want it to look good for the pictures I am, you know, wanting to take on for release day. So I'm getting this off my needles. I have decided to restart it all over, like completely. Just because that will make it look better. I will just start with my other skein and it will look fresh, and then I get further into it, and I think I'm more motivated when I don't have to keep re-knitting the same bit, which should be over now, because it was not a fault in the pattern. And then, you know, with new yarn it looks better, so I think I'm more motivated to keep going. And I want to get as far in as I can, just for the product pictures, right? And I think that's the way to go. That is how I get the most progress out of it. Even although I have to re-knit a bit once more, but now this is a fun pattern, guys. It's the Easy Now shawl by Miriam Molenbeek, and it's triangle shawl that has garter stitch mixed up with lace. So you're doing a bit of garter stitch, you're doing a bit of lace, you're doing a bit of garter stitch, you're doing a bit of lace. And the lace isn't that hard to remember, and it's very easy to read. So if lace is intimidating, I think this would be a great pattern to start with lace knitting. This is a Dutch designer, but she writes patterns in English because she thinks everybody should learn to knit in English, because there are way more patterns available for you. Which means she also makes both Dutch as English instruction videos for this pattern, because it is made for beginners. So every single technique you need, she has a video about. And it's so helpful. So yeah, I am enjoying this pattern very much. It's just a process of a test knit, right? Normally when I make a mistake, I just correct it. Now I can't, because I have to be sure that it is my mistake and not in the pattern. That's why you're test knitting it. So I was just unfortunate not finding out it was my mistake soon enough. But it's fine, and I just want it to look good on pattern release, because I am enjoying this pattern so much. I want to contribute to it doing well. at this release, and you know, everybody's pictures are gonna help, obviously. So I want beautiful pictures with a beautiful shawl. And I think at this point, the only way to do that is start over with a fresh batch of yarn, and I will use this later. But then I can see how far I get with one skein, how big it is. I will need to, but I think if I use one skein, it is big enough for at least start pictures, right? Because the pattern release is on the 4th of June. So I'm not going to be done with this shawl. I'm not a fuss knitter. I will not be done with this shawl, which she does not mind. She told us in the beginning, when applying, that you didn't needed to finish the shawl in time. It was more about making sure the pattern was good, that she and the tag editor did not miss any mistakes, that it was very clear what you had to do, and check out the new videos. So that is great. And I'm now just gonna knit for pictures because the pattern is clear and the mistakes were mine. So I am looking forward to restarting it fresh and see how big I can get. How big it will get before the 24th. And I think that's it. Although I look there, I see a stack of books there that I recently hauled. I make a vlog out of it, but that will be online later than this. So should I grab them and do a little book haul for acquisitions? That might be fun. So it was a Dutch book. It was a Dutch fantasy, mostly bookish festival. That's what it was. It's hard to explain, but it was great. And I bought books, mostly Dutch authors, but also books from a book from a French author that was there to sign. Actually, the first book I bought there was The Ghost of the Bezine's House. That, you know. Which is funny because the festival was in Nijmegen and this book is about a haunted house in Nijmegen. So obviously it's signed because the author was there. Then I bought Blood on Her Tongue because I was so intrigued about this book. I've heard great things on BookTube. Turns out it's a Dutch author and I had no clue. This one is not signed because the author wasn't there. But it sounds so good. I read 1.5 sentence of this. And I was like, yeah. I heard great things. It was already on the wishlist. I cannot leave it here. The Netherlands, 1887. Lucy's twin sister Sarah is unwell. She refuses to eat, mumbles nonsensically, and is increasingly obsessed with a centuries-old corpse. So I'm in. That's all I need. That's all I need. It sounds good. It is a gothic book, a gothic inspired book. We'll see how mad this gets. I hope it's mad. Then I also bought the Fake Vampire and the Plague Machine. I guess that's it. I'm not sure because I haven't read this one. So I'm not sure what the machine does. And pest is a Dutch name for plague, but also for bullying. So I'm not sure what the machine does, but I'm assuming it's the plague based on this book. Because I did read The Fake Vampire, absolutely loved it. Not a new favorite like 5 stars, but such a good, funny read while you're reading it. And I originally gave it 3 stars, really loved it. Vladimir the Vampire is super duper cute. He meets a friend that is part of the sightseers troupe. Very cute. And Vladimir the Vampire is allergic to blood. And I was talking with this author because she had another book that was gorgeous. That dropped gorgeous and illustrated. So I was like, can you tell me a bit about this book? And we were just talking, and 10 minutes in, I was like, realized, did you write The Fake Vampire? Because, you know, that book was also on her boot. And she had a big ass banner behind her head of this book. So somebody finally put it together, and she was like, yes, I did. And I was like, I loved it. And she was like, I'm so great you did, because it's based on my life. Because Vladimir is allergic to blood, and that's based on her chronic illness. And now I love it even more. And then she told me that the sequel, this was the absolute last copy she had, and they're not being reprinted. So every book out there in the store is gonna be the last one. They're not gonna be replaced. So I had to have them both. And they're both signed. So I'm super duper excited for these. Definitely want to read them. Quickly, and I will. That's why the other video is not out yet, because I decided to not make it a book about not a video, just a video about that festival, or put it something else. I decided to make it a reading vlog, and also immediately reading the books I bought there. And then The Court of Shadows in Vampirias, the first book by Victor Dixon. Victor was there to sign the books, and I was already interested in his books, but I've put them down 3 times before. I had them in my hands, and I was always afraid they were gonna be glittery vampires, so I put it down. And he had this interview, and first thing he said was that something about glittery vampires not existing in the day when he got hooked on vampires. And then he was talking about Camilla and gothic horror, and I was like, yes. It's not gonna be glittery vampires, I need it. So I bought it. Great decision. I bought it before the talk because I was like, well, he's here to sign now. You have been thinking about this book many times. Let's give it a try. So when he started talking, I was like, good choice. They're not gonna be glittery. And they're not. He's like, they're attractive, but deadly. And I was like, yeah, that's how I like them. Apparently it's kind of gruesome, so I'm here for it. And these books are basically set when Louis the 14th was still reigning, but what if he was a vampire? So he was reigning in 1715. He's the long reign. So what if in 1715 he was a vampire controlling all of Europe now, because every king or queen that would rule under his command would also be turned in vampire and have and can live forever. So they all did that. So he now controls whole Europe. And obviously the vampires want to keep their status. They want to keep their privileges. So what if we never developed further than the 17th century, because that was helping the vampires to keep their privileges and their status? And it sounds very intriguing. So yeah, I'm glad I bought it. Looking forward to reading this. So that was my little book haul. That was the book haul of the day. No new yarn. So these were all my acquisitions. If you like this video, please think about like, subscribe if you want to see more chaos from me. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down below what you have been knitting, crocheting on while seeing this. And I will see you in the next time. Bye, nerds.